Good morning. What a beautiful morning. It is hot today, but I'm doing some laundry. This is my new bedspread. It's called a stroll through Provence. Now you see those towels on the chairs there? I had to put that there because of the ash. We had so much ash over here because of the fires that was all in the pool. It was like snowing. So I put this down to cover everything. But I bought this and it has pictures of Provence in it. I'll show you once it's on my bed. I love all these little pictures of Provence on it with the cypress trees and little stone houses. It's perfect for the springtime and the summertime. And this is what the bed looks like right now. I am looking for a nicer bed, of course, and the two little side tables, those little Barbie ones, are gonna go in the Gite. But right now, this makes me happy. Well, we got Noah hard at work here.
We're putting all the boards in. They're going to go across here upside down like this. We're going to have ones this size, and then we're going to have ones that are half the size, and then ones that are the full size, and trying to mimic a similar style to the inside there.
So this whole roof right here, all of that is going to look similar to this, minus the whitewashing, right?
Correct.
To this roof here. Okay. You get back to your carpentry.
All right.
I want to take a walk down into the garden because earlier by the pool, I looked down and I spotted some massive wild fennel plants. I cannot believe how much they've grown. And everything here, as you can see, is so dry. I haven't seen a drop of rain in like over 3 months. And the grass, there is no grass. It's just like hay right now. But down here, look at this thing. I mean, I've never seen a fennel plant like this in my life. And I had no idea that wild fennel has no bulb. I was digging and digging, trying to dig up a small plant, looking for the bulb. And a local farmer told me, no, you cannot do that. But everything here is super dry. I'm going to wait until September to do some gardening. And we'll just leave it like this for now.
One of the last things we're putting on the house is this beam in the front. And when we cut this beam, I made it a little too thin and it cracked. So now I've added reinforcements, metal brackets, and I've used construction adhesive and epoxy to create what I think is going to be a lifelong support. And now I'm just going to grind all of these hard spots off where the construction adhesive is above the wood, make it smooth, paint it, and make it all look like one beautiful piece. So let's get to it. Okay, now all the stuff is dried, and we're going to apply the paint. We're going to paint this, and we're going to blend it all in. Let's see how it looks. Now the real trick that I've learned is that once you put this on, the real trick is to put the sawdust on top. This little bit of sawdust blends it really nicely. Just gives it that little bit of rusting, draws your attention away from the paint, you know, and then you get a nice look. I'll sand that off, but yeah, so let's keep going. let's get this whole log done, and then we'll get back to you. Tell me what you think. Take a look at it now. See all those spots down there. And after I finish, I'll come back and show you. All right, everybody, here's the finished product. So let's take a look. You don't see any more of those fill-in spots. I think it looks really good now. And at the end here, I can brush a little more of the debris off, but all in all, I think this looks like a beam that's been around for a few hundred years. So we're happy with that. And now, next couple hours, we'll put it up. And that should be the end of the house and the outside. Well, for the most part.
Victor came by later that afternoon to finish up some work and to help Noah put the beam up. And voila, it looks excellent.
Okay, so I put these all in, cut them, fit them in, they all fit. And now I'm securing them all so that the boards won't twist and it'll be in good shape. So right now I'm putting some spacers, some shims inside of here, so when I place the iron arch here, it doesn't flex like that and possibly break the wood. So I'm making it very, very secure. Got some shims. And a little bit. Perfect. Just saying to Jenny, do you like this? Do you like this look of the real rough edge, like this, chewed up and beat up, like that's the natural wood. I could cut it back here and make it perfectly straight like the other ones.
No, I love it like this.
Okay.
I really do.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
Au naturel, rustique.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's actually getting a lot cooler out here.
It's only like 106. But we've got this thing in there. I'm tightening these bolts. This one's all the way into the beam. And this is gonna be it. I think it looks really nice. I'm gonna go cut this bolt down so I can stick it in here. I can't get it past this. So I gotta go cut this down. And then that's it. We're on to the next project. Well, Jen and I got a nice haul. Jenny's got her fish board.
And this is what Noah's treasure is. He bought a donkey. So this little gem is going to go in our jardin. Maybe we'll put it down where we're going to play pétanque.
Yes.
So this is my little gem that I got at the brocante. I mean, look at the size of this trough over here. I can put some bread. I can put, well, traditionally, this is actually for bouillabaisse. You would make the bouillabaisse with the fish and you would put it all on here. Well, we don't have the pétanque court built just yet. So in the meantime, Eeyore is going to have to take his place over here by the olive tree. And I think I'm going to get some dried lavender and put it in those basket saddles that he has on him. Road trip. This time it's to Born-les-Mimosas. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive from us, and I had no idea this area was so beautiful. It's covered in vineyards, top vineyards, and we are invited to a wine tasting at a chateau with some friends, so how can we pass that up? But on the way, I saw the sign for Haute, which is a very famous vineyard. They have top rosé. So I told Noah, we have 15 minutes before we have to meet our friends. Let's see if the winery's open. Let's stop, do a little tasting, and get some good wine. Lucky for us, we got there just in time for a wine tasting. I absolutely love this rosé, and what I love even more is this bottle. The design of this bottle is iconic. It was designed in 1930 by the owner of the state, who designed it based on an ancient Greek vase that he found on the property. His idea was to have this be the quintessential provincial wine bottle, just like you have a quintessential Bordeaux or Burgundy or Alsace bottle. Unfortunately, the other wine estate owners said, no, thank you. It's too expensive. So now it's exclusive to Haute.
Well, we got 6 bottles.
6 nice,
Delicious wine.
2 red, 2 and 4 rosé.
I'm gonna put the red wines in storage in our cave. Here we go, Chateau Breguignon.
Time for some more wine tasting. We met up with our friends at this family-owned chateau for some great wine, a little jazz, and some nibbles.
Okay, we just wrapped up a nice evening.
We just had our wine tasting, which was 17 wines.
17 wines, people.
Am I a little tipsy right now? I don't think so.
Well, it looks like you're falling over.
17 glasses of wine. But look, it's a full moon.
Oh, it's magnifique.
Everyone is much more calm today. The fires seem to have died down.
Yeah.
Just grateful to be in this beautiful town.
A beautiful little village here. A bientôt.